Hello, in this video I would like to share some experience using this chip, the NeuroMem. Okay, that is a chip that contains a set of neurons. As you can see in this figure, this chip is able to identify or classify different patterns that you can input that you can feed as input to the chip. So how it works, very briefly, you can see that the connections or of the network is like this. All the neurons are connected to the input, and they are connected in this way. The first one will trigger the second, the second to the third, and in this order. So you see that the commitment of the neurons is like this. Once the first one, only when the first neuron is committed, the second can become committed, okay, according to the training, and so on until only the necessary number of neurons is used. So the neural network is composed of n neurons, and at any time you will have m which are already committed. Okay, you have only one neuron will be at the same time RTL, which is ready to learn, and you have of course the rest of neurons will be idle. So briefly, what happened is that the ready to learn neuron will it will hold the input pattern that is broadcasted. Then if the category that corresponding, let's say, to this pattern is not recognized by any of the committed neurons, so if it's we can say that it is a new let's say feature or set of features. So in that case, it will be committed. So the ready to learn will take the decision. Okay, so I will commit, and that will be my pattern. So this is very briefly and easily how it works. Of course, you can read more info in the manuals. So let me just show you a very simple problem that I have solved in this, just to show you how it works. So let's say that you have three vectors that correspond of let's say the three Cartesian axis. Let's say that this is 100 0 0 0 100 0 0 0 100. So those are the three vectors of a Cartesian space. Well, that's you can imagine in 3 dimensions. But this one defines the category 1. This will be category 2 and category 3. So in the Python code that I will upload to my GitHub repository, you will have how the instructions necessary to train and present these three vectors to the NeuroMem. And what I will show you or discuss here exactly is what happened when these three, let's say, new data that you want to know what will be the class for which it will be classify by this neural network. So you want to know what is the class of those. So let's go one by one. You can see, or let me show you maybe a little bit of the code. So you can see that this I will upload in my GitHub repository, so you can run it if you have access to the chip, of course. So in this case, you can see there are only two functions that I am defining here. Then you have the connection, okay, to the device. For this, you will need drivers according if you are using Windows or Linux. Okay, once you are connected, you can see that here I define the vectors that I will use to train the neural network. And then finally I use this function here to display the information, the category for each of the new data. So you can see that when we input this vector 90, 50 and 0, so there are two neurons that let's say are matching to this pattern, and you can see that the category is predicted as 1 with this distance. So this is the distance, okay, that is given by the the first neuron in this category. And then what you can see is that if this distance is minimum or is less than all the other distances, so that you can consider this is the best prediction of the category for this specific data, that in this case will be we can think that it will be classified as class 1. So here you can see the same, but for the for this vector in which I have changed just these two values. And now, as you can see now, here the distance to the category 1 is greater and is near, let's say, to category 2. So in this case, it will be like this. Interesting, well, if you have a vector like this one, that obviously it is very far from all the patterns, all the vectors that were used to train the neural network. So there will be no match in this case, and so logically in this case what is better would be to use this vector to train as a different category or assign to any of the categories already defined. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you have any question, please, I will be happy to answer through email.